One, two, three.
Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast. It's here Kevin and
It's here, Kevin, and it's here, Andres.
hey Kevin, it's guys here.
Hey, Kevin, guys here.
And yeah, today we're just gonna be giving pretty much I want to say like a how would you call this podcast?
We're just gonna be talking.
Just like an
We're just gonna
overview
have
of
a
the week
conversation
or
of what we did. I think these past few weeks have been very, very enlightening for both of us. I
Very.
think for me, and particularly this month, I think this is the month that I've hit the goal that the company sets for me the fastest. And so I hit my goal on Thursday or Wednesday.
I think
And
it was Thursday.
yeah, so I have like a week and a half left of the month to just pile up, and at this point it feels like, and I know that I'm working for myself specifically. I'm not working just to meet the goal. I'm working to get more stuff for myself when I get my commission check. And I think that was a big realization for me.
So you basically hit what you had to hit for the whole month in 2 weeks.
I did what I had to
like half a month.
hit to keep my job. And then, but it was a big relief because now I'm just focusing on hitting that goal for promotion. I think I hit 8 qualified leads, and when I hit 12, that puts me on track to, if I do 12 for the next 2 months, that puts me on track for my next promotion.
100%. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it's been. I'm trying to get into tech sales. If you don't know what tech sales is, it's basically um, companies that sell software as a service, or say SaaS companies, basically. And I'm trying to get a job with them. So I have been doing. What I did was I got into a course, and the course just kind of teaches you how to do the job, right? It teaches you what to do in the job, how to prepare for the job, how to do the job search, and so on. So I've been doing that. So I thought, I didn't know it was as fun as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be more. Actually, let me rephrase that. I thought it was gonna be less fun than what it actually was. The little bit that I've been doing, which is like cold emailing and all that kind of stuff, has been very fun for me. I actually like crafting up emails.
It's fun.
Crafting up the emails is pretty fun. And I haven't felt like that in a while, at least in sales. So I'm very excited for that opportunity. And I just got to land that job with a good company. And yeah, that's been about my week, pretty much. Just
I think. And the biggest thing is just staying consistent. At least for me, I started going to the gym consistently, and so I went 4 or 5 times last week, and that's something that I hadn't been able to do in a really long while. But I set my goal to commit. I'm drinking creatine, protein again. I'm tracking my calories well again, and I feel like it's really helping with my goals. And just having that mental win, that hey, you're back in the gym. You're gonna hit the point that you were at your best again very soon, and it's not going to take long if you stay consistent. I think that's a mental one that helps with everything, with staying consistent in your job, because you know you can do the things that you set yourself out to do. Do we have these on? Do you have yours on?
I think so, right?
You're good.
Yeah. Okay.
But this past week particularly for me, it was a lot of, at the beginning of the week I was down 2 from what my goal was, and usually like an average week for me is like 2 qualified leads or 3, and I got it up to all the way up to 4, because at the beginning of the week I was at, before last week started, I had 4 qualified leads, and then the first day of the week I hit 2 more, so I got to 6, and I was like, hey, that's probably going to be where my week ends. Like that's probably what I'm going to do. So I'm going to stack things for next week. And then all of a sudden something came up for the end of the week, and it got me all the way to where I needed to be. So I didn't need to wait. And that just goes to show that you can do way more than what you initially anticipate yourself to do. You just got to keep going and hope for the best. And even if it doesn't happen, you set yourself up for the next week.
Yeah, I think it's very key to maintain the same level of activity, even if you're not performing well, right?
Yeah.
Using the law of average numbers. I think it's
The law of large numbers?
Yeah, no, average numbers. Is it
Same
average?
thing. They're the same
Well, it's
thing.
the same thing basically. But basically, what it means is, um, uh, in a certain amount of touches or outreach, um, let's say you have, I don't know, just an example, right? We'll say that your people replying to your outreach is 10% for the month. You might start the month, just like you, pretty low, right? Maybe you're doing the same activity, but not a lot of people are connecting. But using the law of large numbers is you keep the same activity, and then in a week or about a week or two, it'll average out. So you'll start getting more replies to your emails or LinkedIn requests and all that kind of cool stuff. So
and the only thing that means is that the more amount of volume you do into anything you do, no matter what it is, the closer you are going to get to what your true average is.
right, there we go. It's a good way to put it. But yeah, and myself, I've been going to the gym as well. I'm getting more and more consistent. I'm actually right now I'm just eating healthy. I'm trying to get the habit of just basically lean eating, and I've been eating a lot of chicken, and it's little by little it's showing. And I've been going to the gym as well, mainly because I've had the time to. I usually don't, or it's not as, or I don't feel as entitled. How do I say this? Because when I used to work that many hours, I wouldn't have the energy to do so because I would run out of time very quickly, and it'd be very hard to keep up. And again, discipline is a muscle, right? So you gotta make sure you're always working out that muscle. So as soon as I had the time, I started doing it again. Now I gotta find a way to do it even when I have the.
Let me ask you this: before, when you say you didn't have the time, do you feel like you didn't have the time, or do you feel like
it wasn't a priority?
Yeah, there you go. Let
me rephrase that.
That's the point that I wanted to drive into.
I always say it's not that you don't have the time. It's that it's not a priority. And my priority at the time was different. It was pretty much performing.
Yep.
And it's very hard to perform and try and be consistent with your daily habits, with going to the gym, eating well. So now that I don't have to perform because I'm still in the job search part, I can pretty much just focus on some other areas of my life as well. So that's been that.
And like for me, this past week or this month, and I talked about this with my manager. We went into last month. I missed my quota, and I was in a it's called a verbal warning. So I wasn't really like in danger of losing my job, but I was like, hey, if you don't get your shit together next month, you're gonna be on a performance improvement plan. So, and he told me, he was like, hey, you worked hard. You just got unlucky. Because you booked the most meetings, some of your things just didn't happen to qualify. Like you should have hit quota. It just didn't happen. So what are we going to do next month to ensure that that doesn't happen? And my answer to that was, I'm going to, instead of being desperate at the end and thinking, hey, I have enough meetings to hit quota and maybe it doesn't happen, be desperate at the beginning. Like want to get it as soon as possible. And that's the mindset that I adopted since the beginning. I was like, hey, my goal is to hit my goal 2 or 3 weeks in.
How many touches were you doing?
I was doing a lot.
Then versus now.
Funny story, I was doing more touches then. I was doing more outreach then. I just focused on doing higher quality outreach.
How come? Or how did you?
What I was doing, I was making sure that a lot of the times when I got people on the phone, I was doing like desperate bookings, and I was booking meetings that maybe were not going to qualify, but they had like a slight chance of doing that. This month I booked 9 meetings so far. Last month I booked, I think it was closer to 15 or 16. And last month I didn't hit quota with 15 or 16. This month I already hit it with 9 booked meetings. Because every single meeting that I booked, I was like, hey, this has a super, super good chance of qualifying and of going into the sales process for the account executives. And that was a big change of pace, because yes, I was more desperate at the beginning. I was just focusing on getting quality stuff into the pipeline and not having um, bad meetings that were going to deceive me into thinking that, hey, I might hit it, even though I wasn't going to, because they were low quality.
Okay. So you were basically,
I was being more picky.
yeah, being more picky. That's a good way to put it. Nice. I like that. So you basically took the rule quality over quantity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Well, it worked well for you. I think you know specifically what is quality. And I think that's what some people struggle with, especially in the tech world, is they don't know what quality is.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you, were you always like that, or how did you know what quality was?
I think
How do you know, how to differentiate a good booking versus a bad one?
I'll give you this example. My first month in the job, I booked 16 meetings, I think. I got none of them to qualify. None of them. I think maybe, no, none of them. None of them did. And I booked more meetings than anyone else. My quota was super low. But none of them went through. And I realized that I was not just going to get to my goals by sending whatever comes my way. Then I realized, if I was on their end, what would I want to move forward? What would I say, hey, this is something that I'm going to close? Because my closing team, they are the ones that decide whether it qualifies or not. So I just put myself in the shoes of, hey, if I was here, what kind of leads would I want to get on my end? Would I want to get someone that is not interested and that I have to work very hard to convince them? Or would I want something that's already looked, already tried to buy, and already like having a problem? And that was the change. Now, if someone doesn't have a problem that they want to fix or that they need to fix, be like, hey, like, we're not gonna help. We can't help you. We're not gonna be useful to you. So let's not even worry about booking a meeting.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. So it was the, I guess, aligning your solution more to their value or to their needs, right?
Yep.
A harder, harder. How do you say it?
Yeah, it was not just trying to book to book. It was more like, hey, are you qualified to buy right now?
Did you use bands?
No, because a lot of the time, the closer, they can work with people lower in the food chain that don't have that much decision power, but they can get them to champion for them, which championing means they're going to advocate for the product because they like it and it would be useful to them. So even if you're not a decision maker, you can give that feedback and bring those decision makers in. So maybe not authority. If they don't have budget, that's something that I do look for. If they don't have need, that's something that I look for. And the timing is bad, that's something that I also do look for. But authority and decision making power has not been that big of a factor in whether I send it in or not.
Right. Because the account executives themselves can.
They can leverage that. That's something.
Champions.
Yeah, and I've learned that need is the most important, obviously, and then I think authority is the least important, because even if they're not the person that you need to speak to, they can advocate for you.
That's a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take that, because when I do break into tech sales, I wanna make sure I'm doing the same. Just working on the need versus just booking just the book.
I really like that you talked about that, because that's super important and it shows how much you're learning.
Thank you.
That's awesome to hear.
It's a lot of reading
I know. You absorbed a lot of that information.
Yeah, I've been focusing like
locked in.
Every day I just think about tech sales at this
That's
point.
good. That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm just super excited, man, because I know that most people that are, this probably is going to get me in trouble, man, but I know that the jobs that I've had before, sales-wise, have been more heavy in activity or very reliant on activity versus tech sales jobs that don't really require that much
This is
activity.
very much,
Quality.
Quality is so important as opposed to quantity.
Exactly.
In this job. And
I feel like in Allstate, I was that way. I would focus on the quality versus quantity. My numbers in terms of, let's say, quantity, I would do a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'd do a lot of outreach, but it was very qualified outreach.
Yeah.
So
And
that's why I had the second best closing ratio after lease.
you read all of these books that I didn't really read thoroughly. I just kind of skimmed through them. So I feel like you grasp that stuff more. What do you feel is, well, not specifically one, but a few of the biggest takeaways that you got from that that you didn't know when we were in insurance? Because I feel like I've learned a lot in these past 6 months.
What's the biggest
Biggest
takeaway?
takeaway, yeah. What do you wish? What are you like? Hey, if I was still in insurance, I wish I knew this. This would have made me number one there.
Activity. I think that's the main one in that sense. But not, it's just not doing more activity. It's specific activity. So it's not just calling more or sending more emails. It's like, what was the activity that had the best ROI?
Call contacted. That's something that I focused a lot on too. Right
so I'm sure
now,
you have like a percentage of like
yeah,
50%. The example, like 50% of the meetings that you book are done through cold calling or emails. Or
I think the course didn't really touch on this, but I've learned that over calls, the most important metric is calls contacted. I don't know if that makes sense, and it's how many of those calls that you make are you actually talking to a decision maker. Does the course talk at all about that? It doesn't really go into that, but right now, and I learned how to do this because at the beginning I was like, hey, there is no way to increase my contact rate. It just depends if they answer or not. It's impossible to increase my contact rate, right? That's what you would think. And this is how I thought at the beginning, and then I learned that when I call multiple people in one city, I have a higher chance of connecting because there's some people that are always on their phone, there's some people that aren't. And then in one government, there's no one that is the same. But if I call separate cities, I can just call the same person that never answers in that specific city. So what I started doing is calling multiple people in one specific city because one of them was going to always be on their phone. That increased my contact rate so much. Right now, I think, and I don't think this month that's true, but that last month I had the highest contact rate on my team. And that's why I booked so many meetings.
Do you think this is very specific to your company?
I think it can work for every company. And my manager always talks about multi-threading, which is reaching out to multiple people in the same department or in the same city or in the same, for example, if you work with sales teams in the same sales team, like reach out to sales managers.
So who's your ICP?
There's a lot because I sell 3 products. I work with utilities directors, public works directors, finance directors, and community development directors.
So what if we'll say that we'll use El Paso as an example?
I'll tell you what I ran into, and I think this might help put it into perspective. Public works directors are always out on the field because they're always fixing stuff. So that's what I run into. These low contact rate. Finance directors, they're always busy. They're super high up the food chain. They don't want to pick up phone calls. And then city administrators and city managers, I call those sometimes, horrible, can't ever get a hold of them because they're always busy. Community development directors, which are the people that handle licensing, permitting, planning, and zoning, they're always in the office. Always and always, like I can always get a hold of them.
Nice. And what I was going to say is that what happens when you can't reach, let's say, the person that's out in the field and you're trying to sell them this specific product for them, what do you do then? What are your next steps?
2 things. Email.
Who? Them?
That person. Okay. Email doesn't work a lot, doesn't work often. Voicemails, I get so many callbacks. I think most of my booked meetings are from callbacks.
From callbacks?
Yeah, so I try to leave voicemails on every call that I have unless I already left like 2 or 3 voicemails. I don't want to be annoying.
Actually, something that the course says is that you shouldn't leave voicemails, or that there should be very few, because it wastes a lot of time.
I don't.
So that's actually.
I don't agree with that from personal. Yeah, from like anecdotal evidence from my experience, I'm getting like 4 to 5 callbacks a week
because of the.
Because I leave voicemails and I leave very vague voicemails, and sometimes they're like, "Oh no, I was calling because I thought you had a problem with this, but." We're good, thank you. Okay, on to the next person. But sometimes I'll get them on the phone and they'll be like, hey, what's up? Yeah, that'd be helpful. And I think that's very big. That's helpful to increasing contact rate too, because getting them on the phone is the first most important thing.
That's interesting. So yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on yeah, because I mean the course is basically like a broad view of everything, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. And I think I don't think it's wrong in a lot of things. I think it talks a lot of good things, but I think personal experiences can vary because there's different methods, different approaches, and you can always learn from your specific industry.
right. Mm, that's interesting. That's pretty cool, man. And all right, I mean, we can go into mindset and
Mm-hmm.
what our mindset has been. Um, I want to start with you actually, because you had a challenging start of the month, right? So you weren't hitting. You had given you this verbal warning,
Yeah.
right? It's like, hey, you need to hit this, or we have to put you in a PIP, which is a performance improvement plan. What was your mentality after you heard that and throughout the month?
I think the first thing that I thought of was I did well last month. I just had I was a victim of circumstance, but
A victim of circumstance.
it was also fixable. Like the circumstance was I sucked, but um, like to put that into perspective, it was very much going into the next month and doing the little things that increased the possibility of getting qualified leads, which was increasing the quality of what I was sending in. That was the first thing. That was the way I was planning it, and it was I need to do it. It's not an option, and this is how I'm gonna go about it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Right.
So I think the mindset was very much not, oh shit, I'm gonna lose my job. I'm doing horrible. It was not like that. It was very much, hey, there is one way to fix it, and I need to do everything in my power to get it there.
Right. So two steps that you should consider is one, you had a plan, so you already knew what to do. Second was the execution. It was the part of actually doing the thing. So I mean those two are pretty much like huge in
Yeah,
self improvement, right? As a lot of people know what to do, but a lot of people also don't do it, but they know what to do.
yeah,
And I know David Goggins talks about that. Is yeah, he talks about that a lot. Is you know what to do. It's just
oops,
you're not doing what you're supposed to do in order to see the the achievements that you want to see. And I think that goes into
yeah,
everything, right?
yeah, yeah. It
And
goes into everything, 100%.
yeah, and I think that's the main point in mentality. And I mean, I guess in my experience right now, I don't think, I mean, the mentality that I've had is just, again, same thing. It's, I know what to do, which was doing the course and finishing it as soon as possible, which is what I did. Because I'm already finished. I'm just waiting for them to basically grade the test, which should be Monday or Tuesday. And yeah, after that, it's just I know what to do, who to call, who to email and stuff. It's just the actual doing of that. And I think I'm gonna start today.
Yeah.
So
What do you think are some wins you had this week?
some wins that I had this week.
I think
Well, that's
that's
the first one is completing the course. I mean it's already a big bonus because I think it's a lengthy course. I've seen people that take a month or like even 2 months to
I
complete
took
it.
like 6 months to complete it because I wasn't focusing on it.
So I mean, it takes a lot of time for some people. For me, it was like I need to lock in this, and I
Hmm.
finished it within like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
But I was putting more time than anything else. Um, so I was very focused on that. So that's a win. Another one is the gym, right? I knew that I had to go back into it because I was not being as consistent. I was going like once or maybe twice.
yeah,
Now I'm
and
going.
that sucks. Like
Yeah, it does. And
if it fucks with your head, I think it makes you feel like you can't do a lot of things.
exactly. And I thought of that, and well, since I do want to transition from job to job, that kind of made me realize that it's like maybe I can.
Yeah,
Like I should be able to do this. Like it's not hard. It's just has to become a priority. And so that was another win, right? I started going more to the gym. And then another one was the healthy eating. So I'm eating a lot more healthier than I was used to. And man, when it comes to eating, that really is the fuel to your body because I feel way better
yeah.
than when I don't eat well and I just eat junk food. I tend to have less energy. I always thought that was like
It
not
makes
true.
that's yeah. That feels fake when you have 2 monsters a day.
Yeah. But then I don't know, little by little I'm realizing that the older you get, the more important it becomes.
I think that's the same for me. Like health has become so much more important since
Yeah.
I've started to look at the future long term, as opposed to just living in the now.
Yeah. And I mean, it didn't help that I used to do life insurance. So I was the average person that I used to talk to was like in between 60 and 70 years of age. So I got a lot of stories telling me how they should have kept their bodies, you know, exercising, being challenged and mentally
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and how it has come back and bit them. So I've learned a lot about that too. So I mean, just pure wins. I mean, the biggest win that I'm looking for right now is to break into tech sales. That should be happening in either about a week or two, depending on when I get the offer.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I would say those are my wins for this whole month.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Even though it started with a very huge loss. But yeah, what would you say are some of your wins
I think
outside of?
I think for me, my win was hitting the goal so early in the month, and
Do you think you'll be able to do the same next month?
yeah, I'm sure of it because I have a whole week. This whole week is
Mm-hmm.
getting more and then setting up for next month because I can book stuff from this month into next month, and
Mm-hmm.
it just happens. Like most of the time, it just happens organically. Like they're like, "Hey, I don't have time this week. Let's do next week," and I'll be like, "Okay," and that works. That sets me up for like a solid 3 or 4 next week, which are not next week, but the week after.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I book next week that goes into the week after is going to be for October. That was a win, being able to set up for next week. Another win for me, and this is really important, and I don't really think about it, I don't mention it, but
Mm-hmm.
I have a set goal of how many meetings I want to book a week.
Mm-hmm.
It's anywhere between 4 and 8. Like 4 is the bare minimum. Like one meeting every day, except for maybe one that I don't do good.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my 4 meetings this week. They were all quality, and I'm sure that 2 or 3 of them will convert.
Mm, that's pretty good. I feel like we're talking a lot about wins. Let's talk about losses. What are
I
your biggest losses?
lost it, man. This week was good.
Or yeah, a lot of losses that
I
have
think
helped you.
my biggest loss this week was not work related. It was finances related, and it's not a loss of this week, it's a loss of this month.
Good month.
I went to Houston recently, and my car got absolutely beat up. Uh, we ended up having a few accidents. A tire popped, a tire got an air bubble, a rim cracked. Um, my front bumper cracked in half because we were on the road and something crossed the road, and we were going really high speeds. So now I had to change 2 tires, change a rim, change a bumper. The water deposit broke, and there was a few brackets that hold the headlights in that broke too. So I had to buy all that. That was like a solid $500 to $600 on that.
So a lot of broken material
That
stuff.
that was the biggest L, and I'm having to compensate for it. And I think the way that I'm going about it is pretty good. I'm figuring out ways to make extra money to compensate for that and hit the payments that I need to make because of that. But it's good because I've been, even before that, I was consistently having the habit of adding as much income as I could.
Yeah, I think those are some pretty good losses. I mean,
Pretty good losses is
yeah,
crazy.
pretty good.
So what were a few losses that you took this week?
So to give context, PIP stands for Performance Improvement Plan, right? So my previous job, I was put into one of those, and I was told, "Hey, you need to perform up to our expectations, or otherwise, we're gonna have to part ways." And I was like, "Okay." So I started, those. It's about 2 weeks. I started pretty good. I started hitting my KPIs, which is my key performance
Index.
yeah, there we go. And I started hitting goals and everything. But then through the week, I was pretty much thinking a lot about if if I liked what I was doing. I love sales. Don't get me wrong. Sales, I love it, and I'm good at it. But not with that particular company because I felt like not that I was a slave, but it didn't rely so much on skill, but more activity.
Yeah.
And I think I was making a lot of decisions, and that kind of made my brain kind of like not wear out, but
Drained out a little bit.
basically
You were working too much.
Basically. And don't get me wrong, I mean the potential to make a lot of money is there, but I don't know if I was willing to sacrifice that for my other goals outside of work, which are going to the gym, for example. That's why it was very hard for me, because my brain was draining, and it was very hard for me to keep with the gym stuff because of that. And I don't know, throughout those 2 weeks, little by little, I feel like I was convincing myself to just let it be, whatever. If they want to keep me, cool. If not,
If it is,
yeah.
it is.
And well, obviously that's gonna hurt my performance, and it did. And so yeah, I mean the moment came, and they had to let me go because I wasn't meeting the business needs, which I completely understand. So there was no hard feelings on that whatsoever. I thanked them for the opportunity and everything, and they were pretty nice about it too and everything. So everything good there. But now it's back to ground zero, right? It's like, okay, now what I'm gonna do? And well, for a few months, I've already been thinking about doing tech sales.
You were already locked into that.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, I
It was
knew I wanted it.
You're self-sabotaging.
Yeah, I exactly like how it happened with Allstate. Exact same thing.
The same thing.
You came in. I started to go down in performance because you were convincing me that the grass was greener on the other side.
It's all my fault.
And I believe it is. I really do. And so, I mean, that contributed to that last job. And yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the only loss, the only loss that I've had. And I mean, it's just a matter of turning that around
into a win,
into a huge win. And I know it's all about the mentality,
increasing
and
again,
staying positive. I know I didn't get kicked out because of performance. It was basically because I didn't want to continue in that. At least I've realized that. I didn't know at the moment, but I've come to realize that because I had been successful in that previous job, very successful. And yeah, I mean, right now, I guess it's just me transitioning into the new industry is what I'm really excited about, and that's why I started the course. Awesome. So it's all about that.
And I'm sure you'll get it very soon. And I like the grass really is greener on the other side. Seeing it firsthand, it's just such a different environment.
Do you think it was better than when you were working at Allstate?
Just a little bit.
You guys don't realize how like the activity that we used to do at Allstate. It wasn't the.
I think there was days where we obviously stayed from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if I did that here, like the difference would be insane.
Yeah, and you get more money.
Yeah, sometimes I'll stay from 6 a.m. to like 6 p.m. and I'll be happier than that. That was a little bit way more difficult.
It's more exciting too. The little bit that I've poured into tech sales, it's been really exciting. I mean, even
it is exciting.
Using AI, I was like,
it's a tool that we didn't know how to use before.
I feel like my sales skills have gone up with that course so drastically. So I'm just excited about that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, what's your mentality for next month?
I think next month is just doing the same thing again, and maybe a little bit better. I think next month I can focus on being more active on the phones, making more dials, because I feel like this month I really got down the keeping quality over quantity. So I think it's just finding a balance between both. That's what it's going to be next month for me.
Is there something specifically that you're going to do?
Just make more calls.
Just
focus more. Do
5 more calls, 10 more calls?
I want to do 10, 15 more calls a day.
So you're averaging like how many touches right now?
Right now I'm doing 50.
50?
Yeah.
So you're going to do like...
I'm going to try to do 60 calls straight. 60 calls and then whatever emails go out.
Do they have like a set minimum of touches?
There is. We have to do 60. I don't think it's a very big problem if we're performing to expectations.
Dude, I mean, 50 touches is not a lot.
It's not.
And you got it done with 50 touches?
Yeah.
That's just pure skill, man. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. But
I think I think that's a good place to wrap up today. Takeaways. There's lows, there's highs, and you got to embrace all of them and learn as much as you can from it.
It's all about the mentality and
All about the
staying
friends you
positive.
made along the way.
It's all about the friends you made along the way. But yeah, make sure that whatever you're going through, don't victimize yourself. I could have easily done that. I want to point that out. I could have easily blamed the company.
It's easy to blame other people for your mistakes.
And I did not. It was all me. I did everything. I didn't perform, and that's why things happen. But make sure that, well, one, you don't victimize, right? And two, make sure you're doing what you have to do in order to continue growing.
Yeah.
So
you can always do more.
100%.
Yeah. If you have any questions or any challenges that you're running into, leave a comment. I know that there's probably a lot of people that face the same thing. And yeah, we'll be in touch next week.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any questions, again, put them down in the comments, and we'll feature them in the next video. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Bye.